Hello, are we open?
Welcome to Soul,
Yeah.
Life, Body. Today is such a beautiful day because we are here once again and we are given this golden opportunity to make changes in our lives. I hope that you continue to do your journaling. I also hope that you're finding the time to give gratitude because we have to be grateful for all the things in our lives. We also have to show love and compassion wherever we go. Sometimes we may tell ourselves that we are going through a lot of adversities, but once we could change that mindset, we can able to really see the great things in our lives. And if we desire to see changes in our lives, we must make that internal change first. That shift will really help us to really understand what's really happening within our lives. Today we got such a beautiful guest, Jose, and he's here to help us to understand adversity and how we really can overcome the things and the tools that we should use when we are facing adversity. And I hope that you're finding in your heart to forgive that someone, because many times we are walking around each day and there is so much hatred that we are carrying around each and every day in our lives. And I hope that you're really finding that space of forgiveness to forgive someone in your life. Is there so much clutter that you're carrying around within yourself every day? It's time to really step back, pause, and look within your life and see exactly how it's going, if you really need to declutter those things or you need to continue taking it around. It's all up to you. Because the clutter is going to weigh you down. Definitely, it's going to be weighing you down. So you really need to check in, pause, check in, go into that space, and really find in your heart to start to declutter. Take those baby steps and start to declutter the things that is not serving you any longer in your life. As you wake up from your bed each day, journal. Journal your feelings. The way how you're feeling, journal it. Because down the road, it's going to help you to really understand why. So many times we may ask ourselves, why am I going through this? We are all here to go through experiences. Because experiences really help us to grow and evolve. Sometimes it's not so nice, but that is what is up in front of us, and that is what we need to go through in order for us to grow. And there is where we gain strength. Through adversity, we gain strength. And be able to put one foot in front of the other and start to walk. So it's very important for us to check in with ourselves and to see how things are going. And if things are not going really right in the way how we would want to feel, it's time for us to pause and give that self-check-in. How are you showing up in the world? What are some of the things that you're telling yourself when you stand in front of that mirror? Are they nice things or not so nice things? It's time we all check in and see how we can make that internal shift. Because once we make that internal shift, we're going to see that transformation. It's peeling back those layers and going to the core and see exactly how we really can help ourselves. Because we can go to a coach, we can go to a therapist, but we've got to be willing to take that step and to go within to make those internal changes. And once you make those internal changes, you're gonna change the reality on the outside. So today we are here with Jose, and he's gonna really help us to understand how we can walk through adversity and come out with a strength because he's here to really show us and to help us to understand that. With all that he went through, he could come to share his story today with us. So sit back, relax, get your journal or a piece of paper, and get your pen. So he's going to give you some tools that you could put into your toolbox that you could able to have when adversity faces you to walk through this life. I'm Karen Pascal, holistic health and wellness coach, and a co-author of two ebooks with my sister Joan Williams. And also, we have a digital magazine and a hard copy magazine. And if you have not subscribed, in the comments below, you could go click on the link and you could subscribe. So you will have that the digital and the hard copy magazine on your nightstand. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Jose is experiencing a little difficulties with his equipment. So you will not see his face on camera, but you will hear his voice very clearly. So I'll now hand the mic over to Miss Joan. Joan?
Hi, thank you so much. Great opening as always. Happy Friday
Thank
to
you.
and it's a lot of reflection because we're in the seventh month, almost concluding the seventh month, and the year has moved by so quickly. Where are you right now on your ladder? I mean, have you took the time to reflect where you started and where you are right now and how you're hoping to move forward? Just sit with that. Are you showing yourself love and compassion? That's very important. Because once you continue to love yourself, and we hope you're doing that, loving yourself, so showing yourself compassion and grace, because things happen in our lives all the time. We move through different challenges, but if we can take that time to show ourselves some grace, love, and compassion, and watch how we talk to ourselves, and remind ourselves who we are, letting ourselves know that we are special indeed, and we're unique, and we're worthy. Take some time out for yourself every day, regardless whatever you're doing, whatever space you're in, whatever is happening. Just pause because there is power in pause. So remind yourself, take some time for yourself, and if you're doing meditation or you're doing grounding, whatever your modalities that you practice, whatever your spiritual practice is, just continue to doing that. Continue to do that and nourish yourself. Eat good food. And nourishing yourself is not only the food that we eat because it's on and off the plate. That's what we coach from. How is your relationship? How is your environment? Are you able to experience pockets of joy every day for yourself? Because there's part of nourishment as well. What are you reading? How are you practicing self-care? Your creativity, your spiritual practices, your physical activity. Are you moving? Are you moving? Are you able to maintain hydration, which is so important? So it's hot right now, wherever you are. As being in the USA, it's very hot. So are you practicing staying hydrated and all that good stuff? Because we have to look after ourselves as an individual. Because one body we have, one vehicle we have to travel through life and travel this journey. So we got to take good care of it so that we can stay healthy and strong to accomplish all the things that we would love to do in our heart, our desire, and walking in our true purpose and living our best. And we all want that. So let's continue to do that daily. My name is Joan William, holistic and wellness coach. Also, have a newsletter that is going to be out soon, which you're going to get a lot more information in the healthy aspect. And so just stay tuned for that. We're here, soul, light, and body, to bring the best for you. Great guests that can give you great nuggets, that great takeaways that you can take with you. Those what can serve you well at the moment, go with it. What's not, just let it be. And tonight we have a great guest with a great story, and We're going to talk about captivity. We're going to talk about resiliency, going through adversity, and what really has helped him and sustained him through that time period of dark times and helped him to come through and overcome. So, Jose, welcome. Thanks for saying yes.
Thank you for having me. By the way, to the audience, we had a technical problem, and that's why you do not see my face. I don't know what happened, but we tried. We began a little bit late because there was this technical thing. But you're gonna hear me. I think the important here that you hear my story. Well, as Joanne and Karen was telling, I went through a very severe and traumatic situation because we became hostage in a foreign country during 1,775 days. Is 5 years. So you say easy, 5 years. We stayed 5 years. We were invited to a business trip, and the business trip became a settlement because there was having some issue between the U.S. and that country, and then we were kept in the middle of this political thing. The long story short, we went through a what we call a nightmare. It was really a nightmare. So at the beginning, you are not trained. Nobody's trained to adversity. The first thing is the adversity. When it comes. It can come in the moment that you never know. In my case, I was a very successful guy, having 35 years in the oil and gas. I was the CEO of a multinational, so I was in the pinnacle of my career. Even 1 week before this tragedy happened to me, I was driving to my work, and in the middle, these thoughts that come to you, I said, "Hey, Jose, you had a wonderful career." I was going to get retired. I said, "Wow, you did a wonderful career." So the only thing that you need is a tragedy in your life, and the tragedy came. So what I the adversity, you never know when it comes.
Right.
So the way you handle it is going to be the change. So when this situation happened to us, at the beginning we deny it. They said this is not happening to me. This is the first reaction you have. At some point you say, okay, this is my situation. So at that point it's like a breaking point that you decide which path you decide to
Mm-hmm.
go. And in our particular case, we were a guy that always had a really very positive mindset in the life. I developed my career because in a way, with a very positive mindset. That was kind of my DNA. So when that tragedy came to me, I was down in the beginning. I didn't know what to do, but at some point, we found, because we at some point could begin to read, and I got a book that today I recommend it to everybody. This is a guy that he wrote this book in the World War II, in the concentration camps in Auschwitz. His name is Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl wrote a book called Men in the Search of a Meaning. So when I read the book, that guy was literally talking to me. He was saying that the people in life, the way they can overcome adversity and survive is when they have a meaning and a purpose in life, and they have a belief in a higher power, in a higher power. In my case, it's God, because I am truly believer in God. But you can believe in the universe. Because you can believe in any higher power. So when we saw that, wow, that was kind of a game changer for us, because we truly understood that we had a meaning in life. Well, that was our family. We needed to come back to our families, and we begin to shout out every night an anthem, because we begin to pray. We begin to read the Bible, and after we finished every night, we were shouting out that we need to come back to our families in soul and spirit and body, because they need us. And that was like a totally game changer to us, because that gave us a lot of hope, a lot of faith, a lot of strength. So we created like a plan. We were six, living literally in a closet, because we stayed in a 100 square foot room that didn't have windows. So you can get mad, insane
Yeah.
at some point. At some point, but we decided to overcome that. We decided to manage the situation and truly believing that God was with us, because
Right.
it's something that we begin to see the presence of God. We begin to see the signs of God, and that, Karen, Joan, I don't know how to explain it today. I'm finishing my book. I know you are a book writer. Maybe you were gonna understand me. But when I was in the editing process, my wife has been helping me, because the way I wrote the book, I want to tell the audience that at some point we begin to, because at the beginning the food was really, really, really bad, so we were kind of starving, and there was a commission of the UN that came to visit us, and they begin to allow us to have some food. So I began at some point, because I needed to be communicated with my family. That is something important, communication with the family. So I began to communicate with my family through letters that I began to smuggle in that cans, and that became my a very efficient way of communication with my wife during years. When I came back, we had written 1,000 letters.
Wow.
1,000 letters, between maybe 500 me, 500 her, because I was writing to her and she was responding me every 2 to 3 days. And the funny thing is, my wife compiled those letters, and she put it in Word. And when I came back, literally, I had my book already reading. It was there. So it was there. It was there. So I have been polishing, but the essence of the book is those letters. So it became like my memoir. So 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 and for me it's important. And when the book goes out, I am in love with my book, but because the way I wrote it, you can see how I am evolving, because I was talking to my wife through those letters, and you can see the evolution of the growth in the strengths, and it's because of that. When we begin to believe in God, when we begin to think that we needed to overcome that adversity because we needed to have a purpose, you can see the change. The way the first letters are telling my depression, how I was feeling. That then the letter were evolving at some point, that at the end they are so full of hope. In some point, it was kind of funny, because I was kind of coaching my wife. I began to coach her because she was depressed, and I was writing to her, no, you have to be, so today when I came back, and at the beginning, of course, I'm not a guru and nothing. I'm a regular guy that went through this situation, and I begin to go. I went to a trauma center and begin to go to therapists, because this is a big deal. And when I learned how is that biochemic that goes through you in those situations, the amygdala, the cortisone, the influx of, so I understood the biochemic of the situation. And there's I got in the in the in the realization that we did it great. We did it great. I said, wow, this had to have a meaning in life, because you don't go through something so dramatic like this without having a meaning. So I said, this had to have a meaning in life. So my first thing is that when I learned that the situation of hostage was not unique, that we had a lot of hostages worldwide, the first thing is our family today is part of a foundation called the Bring Our Family Home campaign. So we have been advocating very strong for the campaign, and we have been helping and coaching our other families. So when we found that that was really powerful, the helping others, so we said, well, okay, I'm going to do this for life. So decided to change gear. I took out my corporate suit, I hang it out, and now I'm coaching in that area, helping people on their adversities and helping companies, because I come from the corporate world. So I said, okay, we can help the people, we can help the business owners, because at the end, everybody is human being.
Mhm.
If you take out the dresses, we are human beings. You can have titles, you can have power, richness, whatever you want. But in the essence, you are human beings. And all the human beings have needs, has fears, has adversity, has struggles, has way to overcome it. But the game changer is having a positive mindset. The positive mindset is what do the change. I tell the people always that you can have a tons of plans, a tons of goals, but if you don't have the positive mindset, nothing happens.
True.
Nothing happens. And positive mindset. I understand that people go on adversity because sometimes it comes from their childhood,
Mm-hmm.
the the the, the situation that they their life. But you can stay there, or you can move on. It's a decision. Is a decision. You have to take the conscious decision if you want to stay there or you want to move on and overcome things. That's what will make the change in the people. So today I say to the people, hey man, you can go to any adversity. You can name it. You can name it. You can having a problem in your marriage. You can having a problem in your work. You got fired or you got broken or whatever situation happened. But the way you handle it, the way you face it, that with a positive mindset is going to make the difference if you're going to transcend or not. So this is something that I discovered from that adversity. So I learned, and today I'm very clear that was a message of God behind that. So God put me in that situation because, well, I had to pass that because you. Another thing is that sometimes you you need to go come back to God. You need to come back to your essence. So today, my coaching is based on five very simple things. The first thing is under any adversity, the first thing is you have to stay calm and focused. You need to stay calm and focused because sometimes the people lose the calm and
Yeah.
are not focused, and that comes down to anxieties, the depression, and all these things. If you stay calm and focused, that we had to do it because at some point when we learned that that was our situation, we said, okay, let's focus and let's solve this and let's survive. This is the first thing, calm and focus. Second thing, you need to have a positive mindset. This is key, positive mindset. The third thing, you have to be stick to your loved ones. You have to go to your loved ones. In any adversity, who is going to be with you is your loved ones. Your significant one, your wife, your dads, whoever they are. These are the people that are going to be with you under your adversity. You have to go back to them. And I know this is difficult because in the world that we're living today, the families are so broken. There are disconnections. But today, when you have an adversity, you have to go back to them. They will always go back to you. I learned that the way I could manage with my wife. I can tell you, for me was when I came back, I told my wife, you know what I'm gonna miss? My letters. I was so in love writing the letters because it was kind of excitement for me because I wrote a letter. I had to wait like 2 days for the food coming, and I smuggled it inside. Okay, here's the letter. Here's the response. So I was asking things to her, and she was answering to me, and it became a very efficient way of communication. At some point, we began to have phone calls because at some point, when the negotiation with that became formal, they were negotiating for us. Well, they changed a little bit the treat of us, and they allow us to begin to have phone calls. But we never stopped writing letters. So when I came back and I saw the pack of letters, I told my wife, I'm going to miss this because for me it was so good writing the letter because we were talking from the soul. So your program talks about the soul. We were talking from the soul. So we were putting our soul in those letters, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and for me, it was really healing. So you have to be stick to your loved one. The fourth thing that you say in your program, you have to have your sanity in body and in mind. You said in the introduction, you have to take care of your body and your mind. So you can do nothing if you're broken. And the fifth thing is, for me, the most important. You have to go to your inner circle and to your higher power. In your belief, you have to go back to your spirituality, because sometimes people lose that essence. That God is there. He is. I can tell you, I begin to see very clear His signs, and I went back to my career, and I did so wonderful career, and I always said, "Oh, I'm a lucky guy." I was not lucky. It was God putting me in that thing there, and He take it, and He give it, and He take it out, like Job, like happened to Job, you know. So He said, oh, "Okay, my friend, now I'm gonna take it out." Boom. In one day, everything was gone. Everything, everything was gone. But when you understand that God has a purpose behind that, because there was a purpose. The, Today, my wife, I was talking with her, and we were my wife today is part of our campaign and advocating for the family, and she has become like a voice of the families. Every time there's an interview, she's talking from her heart, and she was telling me, "I dad, I was so shy. I never so." And she said, "I- Do you think it's the Holy Spirit talking from me?" And I said, "Maybe." Maybe he put his word in you in your mouth, and now you're talking from the soul, because now she talks from her heart, and she talks like she's the voice of the family. Because I can tell you, this adversity is something big, because it's not only you, it's all that happened to your family. It's
Yes.
like a bomb in the middle of the family. So the family got totally broken, totally exhausted. So the way you face it, it's like trying to put a puzzle together. And you have to figure out. I'm not going to say this is easy. This is a process, but you have to be clear in the process you're going. You sticking with your family, be focused in the thing, having your inner spirituality there, believing that God is behind you. You will overcome it. At some point, everything is going to be done. So this is my message to the people. I always tell the people, you can go under any adversity in life, but the way you decided to handle is going to be the decision, and it will be the way that if you decided to go in the wrong way, thinking that you will not overcome the thing, that you are going to be depressed, or you decide to go in the other way, and then you success and you be successful. Because this is the thing, that it's not only that you're going to succeed, you can be successful, you can be another person, you can overcome your adversity. So today I tell the people that if I did it, they can do it. I'm a proof of life. I'm a proof of life that can be done. Because one of the things that I learned is that people can do things beyond themselves, much beyond themselves. Because remember, we were created as the image of God. So we can do things that we don't realize how they did it, but we can do it. That is the essence of the human beings. And at the end, all of us are human beings. So today I try to extrapolate this and what I'm doing, that I'm coaching people in companies, and I see sometimes problem of communication. I see sometimes problem that bad behavior in the workplace, and that's affecting the company. It's so simple. It's so simple if you begin to talk about the struggle that people have, because maybe it's a boss that having a personal problem in his family, and he's dragging down to his workplace, or you have a co-worker having problems, and this is affecting everything.
Right.
Everything is got affected. So if you work in that direction, if you really decide to overcome those things, it will change everything.
Mhm.
It will
Yeah.
change everything, and that business is going to be beautiful. It's gonna grow. So I learned this in the unfortunately in the hard way, but well, that was, I believe, that what God put me in my path. So that was my experience, and that's why today my two passions are that: teach about how to overcome adversity and advocate for the hostel community. I have my These are my two things today, and if you go to the audio to my LinkedIn, I talk about the two topics today. I have also a newsletter where I write about this, because this became my passion. So I hang my corporate suit, and then now I'm doing this. So thank you for having me and talking about this. I don't know if you want some more questions, but this is my story, and this is how I overcome it.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. First of all, thank you for saying yes to be here. And thank you for giving us an overview of what happened in your life as a person, as an individual, as a human being. There is so much to unpack. But starting from your talking about your resiliency and your mindset and how you had to course correct in thinking in a way, okay, yes, you accept this happened, because that's what we all have to do when a situation occur, is acceptance. Yes, okay, this has happened. What do we do from here? And as you rightly said, how do you choose to move forward from that moment when that adversity is happening and that encounter? How do you choose to move from that point forward? There are different choices you can do, but you together with everyone else decided to choose positivity and create that mindset. And how beautiful together with your lovely wife to correspond with you and keep that communication going, because that has enriched you, would you say?
Yeah, let me tell you, you said it totally right. That's it. That's the essence of everything. You have the two choices. But if you decide to have the positive mindset, that's why it's so important to have your loved ones, because in that situation is where the family gets stick together. In adversity, maybe you can have wonderful ties, because they are having problem and you are having problem, but together we can solve the problems. So having that positive mindset and doing it together is so important. Doing together, I can tell you, my family gave to me signs of love that that I will have gratitude for them ever. My eldest son, because of this situation that we were had lack of food and medicine, he moved to Colombia because I was in Venezuela. He moved to Colombia because he couldn't go to Venezuela. So literally, he moved to take care of me during 4 years. He
Wow.
came back to the U.S. after I came back. I came back in October. In January, he was here because he closed everything in Colombia and came back. So literally, my family put their life in pause for me. So can you imagine how much gratitude are behind that?
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine how much love are behind that? So under that extreme situation, we discover so beautiful types of family. I can tell you, I'm not gonna say that everything is beautiful, because
Right.
another thing that happens sometimes in diversity is that your life changes. It's
Yeah.
like a before and after. In my case, I say always that I came like in a time machine. I was like in a vessel, and I traveled in the time 5 years after. And when I opened the door of the vessel, I came to a world that was totally different. Was the post-pandemic world where everybody, you know how the post-pandemic world now is, everybody's so sensitive in the skin. A lot of things has changed, and I didn't live that. I was in a vessel. I didn't. And so when I came back to this new world, and now my grandsons are grown up, I left one of my son. was born when I was in captivity. Another thing that I learned that this is important because, again, for me, Men Search of a Meaning, the book of Viktor Frank, I recommend everybody to read it. Everybody had to read that book. He always said something that the people, when he was, because he was a psychology, by the way, he's the father of the logotherapy. Today, the logotherapy is Viktor Frank. He wrote his book and based the logotherapy because of what he saw in that concentration camp. So he was saying there three things. You need to be have the believing inner higher power. You have to have the purpose of your life. In my case, was my family. But he always said that the worst part will be when you come out, because you're gonna come to a world that you don't know, and we will begin to know that some of your loved one has passed and you didn't know. And I learned that my mother-in-law and my aunt, that was like my mom, died 1 year before, and I knew it in October. And they never told it to me because I always was asking, "Hey, how is Aunt Lilia? How is Aunt Maria?" And no, they're fine, they're fine. They had passed. And then my wife said, "Why I was going to say that to you? You were going to
Mhm.
be suffering." So
Right.
I appreciate she not saying that to me, but it gave me, it broke my heart. I couldn't say goodbye to them, but because I already knew that that was going to happen to me because of the book, I was kind of prepared for the moment. So the adversity changed your life. So this is something that you have to have it very clear. You go, for example, you got fired, you will never go to that book sorry, the job. There's a famous Brazilian poet, Paulo Coelho. I don't know if you have read. He has a poem called "Closing Circles." The poem is called "Closing Circles."
Closing.
I encourage the people to go and look at it. You can look at it in English or in Brazilian or yeah, in Spanish. He always said that in the life you have to be closing circles, because when you go to a situation, you will never go back to that same situation.
Right.
It's a circle
Right.
in your life that you have to close it. So today, for me, my new life, I have been closing circles. I have been closing circle, and one of the things most important that I heard one of you two said it is that you you have to forgive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
to forgive,
Yes.
because remember, Mandela said it when he came from the jail, that if you don't forgive your captor, you're going to be in jail forever. So
Yeah.
I decided to forgive. Today, I don't spend not a second thinking in what happened to me with this guy. I forgive them. I said they did it wrong. They had their reasons. I forgive them. I forgive them, and the Mother Nature will take care of them. Their karma will take of them. So because that's it. So that package that you have in your shoulder, you take it out. You take that out. My wife today, she's a totally different person. The person that I left 5 years ago, when I found it, is a totally different. At the beginning, for me, was shocking, knowing how she now is, and she, because she had to take care of everything, and today she tells me, "I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago." So you have to be clear in that. But again, if you stick to them, you can walk it through together. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a process that you're gonna be walking it together. So this is my message. This is my message.
Wow. What a beautiful story, you know. It's that you help us really to understand that we all go through some sort of adversity, but you really bring out that whatever adversity that we are going through, we can make that conscious choice to go with a positive mindset along with this adversity.
Correct. Yes.
And you also help us to understand the resiliency. You also help us to understand the support system. So when we are going through adversity, if we could have that support system that could rally around us, it is so important because it help us to stand on a foundation that we know, you know what, we have our loved ones, we have friends who we could rely on because they are there to support us. And you also help us to understand that walking through adversity, we need to call on the higher power.
Mhm.
We cannot do it alone
Yes.
because many times we tell ourselves that we could do this all by ourselves, but we need to call on the higher power.
Yes. Yes.
And once we call on that higher power, we could able to understand why we are going through this adversity. It really show us, you know what, we're going to go through this adversity, but we will come out victorious. And you are here to tell us today that you walked through adversity and you came out victorious because you made that choice to call on the higher power in that time of adversity. You made that choice. And because you made that choice, you came out victorious and you could come to sit here with us today and to tell us that story. Thank
Yes.
you for doing that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Amazing.
Go
Your
ahead.
courage. I was just going to say your courage and the strength that you had to go within and harness all of that. As you talk about the inner strength and the inner core, you had to reach inside of you and pull all of that and harness all of that to give you that strength, which result in the resiliency and everything that you can stand here today or sit here today and talk to us about. So courage plays a big role in determination, you say?
Let me tell you something else that not only is the choice how you take it, having a positive mindset, is that you have to take it so positive that,
Yeah.
for example, in our case, we decided and I'm not talking for me, I'm talking about the six of us because we were six. We decided to even make jokes about situations that happened to us. Was so mean the situations that we said this is a comic situation, So we made jokes. Today we joke under that situation. So today for me it's like something that happened long time away. It's part of my story. I move on, and that's it. And that's it. So it's a way you overcome adversity. And let me tell you, today that I'm part of this hostage community, we have this foundation. We are 19 families that have people, unfortunately, in Russia and Iran and Cuba, North Korea, a lot of countries, China, Venezuela. Um, well, and we are this is like a big family today. I always said that this is the family that you never wanted to be, but at the end, you become part of it. And I see the resilience of all these families. We unveil a mural here in Washington July 4th, here in Houston, with the faces of the people that are. I tell the people go to Google. We have two murals, one in Georgetown where it's my face when I was in jail. My face is in a mural in Washington that is going to become a landmark of the city, by the way. And now is a new one we unveiled here in Mura in Houston. That for me was an honor to be there because I'm now out, and I met all these families. And when you talk with their wife, with their fathers, with their daughters, there's so much resilience because now they are together. We are like a big family. So that gives, and they see us that we are here, and they see us how we are strong. So that is like a boost of hope for them. So now all that depression, maybe they're still there because they want their loved ones back, but it's a game changer. Having it, so there are many proofs that this thing works. This work. You have to believe in your higher power. You have to stay with your family. You have to be ticked to the positive mindset. You had to be calm and focused in the situation, and take care of your health, and anything will go. It will be a process, but it will go. Things come and things go. It will go.
Wow. Yeah, you outline the different steps or different pillars or how you would like to describe it. But because after that process, we move out of the adversity, then we got to start to rebuild the individual who we are and who we have become after that, the aftermath of that, and who do we become after that. Is that's how we start rebuilding ourselves, rebuilding those pillars, getting stronger, and the reinforcement to feel more secure. Because, as you rightly said in the discussion, you don't come out the same. Any adversity you go through, you're never the same.
You're gonna be a different person, totally different person. It's gonna be a new you, but has to be a better version of you, a
Yeah,
new, better version of you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it really helps us. But it's all, as you rightfully said, it all depends on how we look
Mhm.
at the adversity while we're going
Okay.
through. Because many people go through adversity, and when they come out from that adversity, ask the question, why does this happen to me? It was so bad. Why did God chose me for me to go through this adversity? They don't look at it in a positive way. So it's admirable to see that you went through adversity and you look at it with a positive eye, and that is absolutely amazing on your part.
I can tell you, Karen, that today I look at so positive that I, when I came back, the first thing I was to go worship, and I was giving thanks that I
Yes.
went through this situation because it was eye opening for me.
Mm-hmm.
I discovered things that I was not aware of it, and I had to go through this situation to be having eye opening. So for me today, for me, it's like a miracle.
It is a miracle.
It's like a miracle.
It is a miracle because now your career has been repurposed because you no longer the CEO you set up with the company, the old company, but your purpose now is richer. Would you say?
Of course, I'm in love with this. It's funny because I was a guy all my life with a suit and tie. I was using suit and tie all my life. When in the photo you see me in suit and tie, but I can tell you when I want, I'm big fan of rock. I love the Hard Rock Cafe T-shirt. So you will see me a lot with a Hard Rock Cafe T-shirt because I enjoy doing it because I today I hang my corporate suit. I want to help those corporate guys, but in another position. Now,
Yeah.
like a coach that went through a situation that can help them. But I don't want to be in that position now because I discovered that this is what God put me in the past. That's it. Period.
Hmm.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
And look how beautiful. Sorry, you go ahead, Karen.
No, you go ahead, Joan.
No, I was just gonna say another layer. Who best for you to do this job alongside of your lovely wife?
Oh yeah.
Her
Let
life
me
has been transformed as well.
Yeah, yeah. Let me tell you, it's funny because when I came back, we have a story, and I know maybe we're running out of time, but I want to say it. She every year we had before this happened, we always wanted to go to the Rose Parade, in Pasadena, in Los Angeles. That January 1st Rose Parade.
Right.
So we could never do it because happened this situation. My wife every year brought the ticket waiting till I come back. And every year she had to refund it, and the other year went back. And the year I came back, she said, I have the tickets. He said, let's go. And we
Wow.
went. And we went January 1st. We were in the parade, so we went to the Walk of Fame in Hollywood, and there was this souvenir store, and there was an Oscar. So I bought an Oscar, and in front of the in the Chinese theater, I gave her an Oscar for her resilience. So I gave her. She has the Oscar of the resilience.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Oh,
Uh, yeah,
wow.
she is the master. She should be the coach because she really has have a lot of resilience. It's amazing. It's amazing that how God put you in this situation, but how you can really overcome it. How you can even uh, know things that are inside you that you never thought that they were there. So that is the power of of this.
Listening to you, the word that is coming to my mind is triumphant. You
Mhm.
know, the triumphant in this situation, and you clearly show us this afternoon that you can be triumphant from any adversity.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, totally true. Totally true. That's exactly. And by the way, today I have some speaking point in one of the topic is transforming the trauma into Trump, rebuilding your life after captivity with love, hope, and resilience. So this is the way you can get through this trauma situation, triumph. So yeah, and anybody can do it. I was a regular guy that never thought this could happen to me, because when the adversity come, it never announced. I sometimes I see people talking. No, 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 no. Things happen, and when it
Yes,
happens, it's like a bomb. Boom, it came. The way you handle it is gonna be. It's your choice. It's a personal choice.
yes. It is absolutely right. It's a personal choice. And we all have that choice.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And we could change our mindset. And once we change our mindset, we can really move through or walk through any
Yeah.
adversity. It's all about a mindset.
And let me tell you this, Karen, this is so important because you can change it. The beauty of this is you can change it. Because sometimes people say, no, I have always been like this negative. No, you can.
Sure.
It's like it's like a computer. You can reprogram the computer.
Yes.
And maybe sometimes people bring this from their childhood, from
Yeah.
their
Yes.
family. So
Mhm.
they've been dragging that down because my father was like that, my mother was like that. So they believe that they have to be like that. No, wrong, wrong. You have the choice to do it different. You have the choice, but it's on you. It's your choice.
Absolutely right. It's our choice.
It's
We
our
have
choice.
that choice. And
Yeah,
we
you
could
can
make
move.
the right choice.
We can move away from the limited belief system and move into the new mindset that can evolve us forward and break that chain of that mindset.
Absolutely.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And then when we do that, we could see that transformation happening before
Mhm.
our eyes.
Yes.
Well,
Wow.
wow. There has been a, let me tell you, a wonderful program. I'm amazed because Karen and Joan, when you invited to me, I haven't heard you talking, and when I'm talking today with you, it's so wonderful the connection. So it's like the universe. It's a connection of the universe. It's
Thank
like another thing. When you have a positive mindset, it's law of attraction. You
you.
Yes.
begin to
Yes.
attract good things, good people. Good people going to come to your life because it's law of attraction. This is another good thing.
Thank you, Jose. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Thank you.
It's all about a mindset and
Mm-hmm.
what you put out. Because whatever you put out, that is what is going to come back.
Correct.
That's
Totally right.
totally
Agree.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Jose, we're winding down now. There's any words that you would like to leave for the audience that whoever gonna watch this replay or the audience right now, what are some of the words that you could leave if they're going through some adversity at this point in time?
Any adversity in life, any capital letters, ANY, any adversity in life, you can overcome it, you can succeed it, you can thrive, and you can be successful. But it's your choice.
Yes.
Is your choice, is having the proper mindset. And if you don't have it, you can be trained. It's matter to take the decision. And if you do what we have been talking here, you can overcome any adversity in life. And I have the proof of it. I'm not a guru. I'm a regular guy that went through an adversity and learned it. And now I want to teach others on this. And I'm the proof of it. So I'm here. So that's my final message.
Yeah. And what about your book? Your book, and we know your book is coming out soon.
Yeah, the book today. I came a little bit late because I was talking with the editor, and yeah, they're making some, because the way only when I wrote the book was based on my letter, but I was missing some pieces of the last year when I came back. As I said, at some point we began to have some communications, and we reduced the frequency of the letters. So I had to build up some chapters that were missing in my book. So that has delayed me a little bit, but it's already done. It's already done, and we think between the editing, publishing, and the campaign, it's going to be out maybe in September, October, maybe. It's going to be
Um,
September, October. So
Congratulations.
today we're gonna have a focus group next week that we have been chosen people. They're gonna have some kind of feedback with the people. The book name is that From Hero to Villain: The True Story of the Citgo Six. So we're ready. We have a blog where you can go to my LinkedIn and my link tree. And you can go there and you can go to the book and see. We're making progress. We want to get connected to the people to make this fun, making it with them together. Yeah, but yeah, we try to do the book in a way that even there was a very harsh situation, is
Mhm.
the essence of how we overcome it. That is
Yeah.
the message that is behind the book.
Thank you so much.
Wow. I really like the word you just used, the essence
Yes.
Yes,
of overcoming adversity, the essence.
yes.
You know? And the essence is a secret sauce.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You know? That's the secret sauce, is the essence.
yeah.
And you really give us the tools, and one of the tools is mindset. That's the big tool, mindset.
Super, super, super.
So I hope the audience that you take some notes today and you walk away with some tool that you could put into your toolbox. So when there is adversity, you could really reach for your toolbox to get that strength, the resiliency that you need to continue walking on this journey. Jose, thank you so much for taking the time and sitting with us today and sharing your story with us, because I know it will help one person to know that there is still strength within. Whatever adversity, whatever experience, situation comes up, we have the strength within us to face it. But the mindset is the big key that we could change the situation. All Jose handles are in the comments below. You could check him out. You could call him. You could send him an email and communicate with him. And he will really help you to understand how you can really walk through adversity. Thank you for spending this hour with us. It's always a pleasure. We really appreciate all of you, audience, and the people who are going to watch it on the replay. Thank you so much for watching Soul, Light, and Body. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like, and share, because there are always good episodes that you could really get your tools for your toolbox. We want to thank you once again, Jose, for taking the time and sitting with us and sharing your story about adversity and how we can overcome, and some of the tools we can use to walk through adversity. Thank you once again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It was a
Thank.
wonderful program.
Yes.
Thank you. And to the viewers, have a wonderful weekend.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Believe